the team in Houston has already played its first preseason game. The Houston Texans taking on the Carolina Panthers this past Wednesday, and we're pleased to have here on the Rich Eisen Show, entering his 9th year out of Southern California, Brian Cushing. How are you, Brian?
Rich, how's it going, man? Appreciate you having me.
You
Doing
bet.
Great.
You bet. So let's get started right here. What do you make of the quarterback situation on your team, Brian?
You know, we got three guys competing for a job. You know, obviously Tommy is a starter right now with Deshaun behind him. Two guys that, you know, it's not up in the air right now, but two guys that are just, you know, really good quarterbacks. Obviously Tom a little bit more established. Deshaun coming into the league this year has shown, you know, flashes of really some great things. And, you know, we've seen Tom for 3 years going on 4 years now. So, you know, it's obviously going to be a decision up to the coaches, and truthfully believe that the best man will play. But it's definitely a battle.
Now, I know football is all about controlling what you can control, and you can't control anything on that side of the football. So
Right.
how has it been to watch the revolving door at that position? And I'm imagine you'd like it to stop and on one of them. But what has it been like for you in the defense, Brian?
It's just trying to focus on ourselves as best as possible. You know, you said it best. You can control what we can control, and we understand that. So we have a job to do on the defensive side of the ball, and we just try to lead as best as possible. You know, I've been here for 9 years, so I've seen obviously a good amount of quarterbacks throughout the years. But at the same time, just worrying about the middle linebacker position, getting the call to the guys, getting all the checks around to everyone, and just trying to lead the guys as best as I possibly can.
So then who is Tom Savage, for those who might not know the type of guy that he is?
He's a good guy. He's a good guy. He's a good quarterback. He's smart. You know, he's been in Coach O'Brien's system now for 4 years, so he gets a really good handle and grasp on everything. You know, he makes some really good checks. He's made some really good throws in practice. And he's going against a pretty good defense too, so it's a good judge every day of talent and where he's at to go against.
And and then Deshaun Watson, what has he been like in the first couple of weeks you've been exposed to him, Brian?
Pretty much everything you expect and better. In all honesty, you know, the guy is just an extremely talented person. The things that he does on the football field kind of, you know, you kind of in awesome times. So, you know, obviously he's just got to continue to grasp the playbook, understand it as best as he possibly can, continue to grow and develop into a quarterback, and he'll do a great job.
So would you, with your entering your 9th season, and you know how things can go quickly in the NFL, Brian, would you have a problem with a rookie starting week 1?
No, you know, and at the same time, you know, like I said, that decision's not up to me. But, you know, I've played with rookie quarterbacks before. I played with guys that just came off the street the previous week. So, you know, it's just kind of a next man up attitude, and whoever's calling the shots and you know, throwing the ball on that side of the ball, we're fine with. You know, we understand that. We just got to play as best defensively as we possibly can and lead them. And you know, like I said, it's just a big collective effort.
Brian Cushing joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show after Houston's played its first preseason game against the Carolina Panthers. And again, Greg Olsen will be joining me here on the show shortly before Emmett Smith does. How is your body entering year 9, Brian? I don't usually ask that of another person,
you know,
but
surprisingly good. I've been pleasantly surprised with how I felt. You know, obviously I've had some injuries throughout my career that I've really just gotten over. You know, I'm just glad and very happy and blessed to still be playing and very fortunate. So I mean, every day I come out here, I'm just extremely happy to be playing football still, in all honesty. And going into year 9, I feel fresh. I feel good. You know, I feel experienced, and you know, I'm ready to play for a good amount of time still.
Do you talk with Watt about, you know, maintaining health since he's had some issues?
Absolutely. You know, with you know, kind of the deal he went through last year, just trying to, you know, keep him positive and have him understand, you know, that every day that goes by is just one day closer to playing again. You know, and that's what kind of kept me going through those 2 years, and it was my driving force. So, you know, anything I can help him out, you know, as someone that's been there and done that, you know, I'm definitely there for him.
So what do you talk about? Like, give me some specifics about keeping your head clear when you're trying to get your body.
Like I talked about, you know, just, you know, every single day that goes by, it's close to playing football again. That's the biggest thing. You're going to have your good days. You're going to have your bad days. That's just how rehab goes in any substantial injury. So it's just never getting too down and understanding, you know, good chance your best days are still ahead of you. And there's a ton of football still playing. You're going to help this team win, obviously, with the kind of caliber and talent that he has. So he's definitely going to help us big time so far.
Who are we not talking about on the Texans that deserves the pub, Brian? Who are we not talking about?
I don't know. I think that's kind of up to you.
Is that right?
Kind of up to you. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, there's a bunch of good players. We talked about Deshaun, you know, we talked about JJ, obviously DeAndre, Lamar, all those guys. So, I mean, Jonathan Joseph, there's there's a ton of good experienced players. There's a ton of good guys, a ton of talent, and the biggest thing is it's a competitive team. Every day, it kind of goes back and forth, offense, defense, and that's a sign of a good team. But we got to continue to work at it.
Super Bowl being mentioned around there? Talking about
it? Obviously you talk about it and the word comes up. At the same time, we know we're far, far ways away from it. So obviously that's all 32 teams' end goals, and we understand that, including ours. So, would we love to have that? Of course, any team would. But at the same time, we've got to put in a ton of work before we can even really start to mention that word.
Your teammate, David Quessenberry, played in his first game since being diagnosed with cancer 3 years ago. What has his return meant to the team?
It's an incredible story for an awesome human being. To see what David went through for 3 years and kind of the personality he is, and obviously, a ton of, I don't think I ever saw Dave not smile during any of those days that I saw him, or have a positive outlook, and would tell you, I'll be back. And he obviously had his letdowns, and he was it was prolonged longer than he originally thought. But the kid never gave up, and you want to talk about just an incredible person, an incredible teammate, just such an unselfish, teammate, player, everything. He's just an awesome, awesome human being.
Couple more minutes with Brian Cushing, Texans linebacker, here on the Rich Eisen Show. Were you holding out hope that Vince Wilfork might give it one more go, Brian?
There was a couple of helicopters landing out here in the Greenbrier, and I had a little hope that he'd be on one of them, but then I realized he probably wouldn't be able to be held up in a helicopter, so I knew it wasn't him.
Okay. So that's how you could tell that he wasn't.
Yeah, they need something bigger than that, at least.
Well, what'd you learn from him? What'd you pick up from Vince being around?
I learned a lot. I learned a lot from Vince. Just a wise old football player who could, still move, and obviously as strong as an ox, but, just one of those guys that was an awesome teammate. Just a ton of leadership, a ton of experience that, he kind of handed down to all of us. And then I just had the pleasure of playing behind him for 2 years was incredible. Obviously every single play demands a double team with a guy of that size and that athletic ability. And, it was a really cool experience playing with him, both on and off the field. And
do you think you could pull off the dungaree overall look quite like Vince, Brian?
It would look a little different. I definitely need a smaller size.
You think so? I think so. Probably. Yeah. Hopefully somebody has them enshrined somewhere. I'd love to see those bronzed.
They're around here somewhere.
Yeah. And what do you think of your Trojans this year? Preseason number 4.
Yeah.
What do you think, Brian?
I'm excited. I'm excited every year for them. It's been a while since they kind of, returned back to that caliber of play. They've gone through some things, but this is an extremely talented team, and that quarterback is as good as anyone out there in college football. So excited for them. I'm excited every year, but this year's got a little bit different feel to it.
Yeah, a lot of folks think Sam Darnold's going to be number 1 overall. Do you see an NFL quarterback when you watch him play?
Yeah, I think so. I think so for sure. Yeah.
Believe we finally lost Brian. That was going in and out right there. Now, when you drop a call like that,
yes,
do you call back right away, or do you expect the person who called to call back?
It's nice to say goodbye, kind of formally end the conversation.
I need closure.
Right, exactly.
I'm a closure guy.
He's calling back in.
Is that him right there? Brian, you there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. We were just talking about. I know
I heard the policy and everything. I'll call you back every time, Rich. Don't worry about it.
Is that what it is?
Yeah,
What is your policy on that? Seriously.
I don't know. It's just one of those things where I feel I got to call back. Obviously, you guys are still talking, and I was lost, so I'll find my way back there.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I'm a closure guy too, Brian. And I know you close for a living.
Yes. Yep.
So I just like closure. I felt like we were wrapping up.
Yeah. No, I'm back.
Okay. So you were saying you see an NFL quarterback in Sam Darnold?
Yeah, I think so. I think the potential, the mental is all there, and obviously he's got a little bit of football still playing and a lot to learn. But for his age and where he's at, he's advanced for sure.
Or in that dropped moment, you were talking crap about Belichick and how you were going to kick the Patriots' ass, right, Brian? Was that it?
I was still talking about you. I was still talking about you.
Oh, okay, you were. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I tried. You see how I tried right there? That's called fishing.
I did.
All right, Brian, you take care. Thanks for calling back.
All right,
I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
You guys, Brian Cushing.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on radio stations across the country and audience.
If you like that, download our app. Please, just if it's a memory thing, just delete other apps. You don't need those apps. This app The Rich Eisen Show app? You need that.